Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeon.
You always
It's already
stumble
bad.
on that.
We're
You
ready.
always
It's
do.
always bad.
Every week.
See, you had me psyched out because you were talking about all the words
Dun,
that messed
dun,
up
dun,
before.
dun.
Dungeons and Dragons stream, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons stream. Going through our players, we have Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Thaddeus, the human paladin of vengeance.
Oh, switching it up.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
I realized last week that it's like, you know what? Assign doesn't mean anything to anybody, and everyone
Yeah.
else is saying their actual subclasses. So I should say mine too.
I'm Kay. I play Harmony, who is a tiefling wild magic sorcerer.
And I'm Melissa, who plays Mara Stormwind, and she's a human pirate swashbuckler.
I'm Zach, and I play Hunter, who's a Warforged Fighter Ranger.
Let's see. So we stream on Twitch every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and then post those episodes to YouTube the following Wednesday. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items and also a custom wild magic table. So be aware of that as you're watching. Music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech. So if you're watching us on Twitch and interested in anything I just mentioned, you can check the channel page for links and info to all of that. And more, even. There's some history on there, which is great. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you can check the video description for similar information. Then, if you want to keep up with when we're going live and what we're doing and what's going on in our episodes, you can follow us on Twitter at AntiheroesAnon. And if you missed that just now, you can check the pages I just mentioned for that information. Other than that, we hope you enjoy, and if you do enjoy, we hope to see you back soon for the next episode as well. So a little bit of recap before we get going. Just before landing on an island known as Kamekame Island, the party found a message in a bottle from renowned romance novelist Gloriana Hartwood. Upon landing on the island in search of Gloriana Hartwood, the party happened on a lakeside shrine, which was built in commemoration of the spirit guardian of the Elderhaven Reaches, or at least one of the 4 of them, the White Tiger of Yakuko. And then inside, excuse me, inside was a trial which the group overcame to obtain a mysterious artifact. Sorry, I need some water. Hold on.
Tell that Dungeons and
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons.
Yep. So then that night, a frog-like creature known as a grung showed up and asked for the party's help in slaying a goblin and gnoll chieftain on this island in exchange for a reward. They also ran into a giant frog-like creature known as a froghemoth, during which the encounter with that, during which Harmony's amulet surged and acted up, and a bunch of slotty from a different plane stepped through a portal and attacked the party. And then a rather plain gentleman named Mike Jensen from the Bureau of Interplanar Risk Analysis arrived and registered Harmony as a cosmic threat for her summoning of the slotty. Mara then used her crystal ball
Scrying orbs.
to scry on Gloriana Hartwood and find her being marched up the side of the volcano. The party then hurried after her and barely managed to rescue her before she was sacrificed to demons. However, they did fail to stop the summoning of a large demon known as a Goristro, which is now loose upon the island, but they heroically fled from that. So
Thanks. Thanks to you.
that's where we're picking up, is with the 4 of you plus Gloriana, with Gloriana in tow, just booking it into the jungle down the side of the mountain. And you go, I mean, how long do you want to go before you feel you're safe?
So I want one little RP thing first. After I fed Mara a good berry and she came to, I want to scold her and be like, oh, I'm so glad you're okay. But what were you thinking? Going in headstrong like that, we need to make surgical strikes, not just run in by yourself. You can't do that, you'll get yourself killed.
In my defense, I thought I was hiding, but I actually dashed, so it was my bad.
Learn to control your legs, and then we'll continue with the party, and we will flee heroically.
Yeah, so how far do you want to go before you
like-
feel you've reached a safe point?
And an hour is decent?
An hour?
In
Or is
which... Do we have a
Away
particular
from
direction?
volcano.
I
the
feel
way.
like
Just,
once we get to the bottom of the volcano and we can find a place to hide.
and just to clarify, this volcano is the one in the center, right, with the
Yeah.
staircase.
Like
So
one
I'll pull up the
volcano,
map
right?
so that the viewers can see. Oh, that's the world map, not the
So
island
we want
map.
to head towards the Kobold camp
We don't know where that is, do we?
Oh, we do.
We
Yeah.
we do.
because
So
Robert
you're
called it.
fleeing down the
No, the
Goblin?
camp.
no.
Or did I, what did I say?
You
Kobold?
said Cobalt.
I meant the other one.
Yeah, so that's off to the east.
Yes.
Right.
So you're fleeing down the northern side of the volcano, heading northward towards the river.
I wonder if heading towards the goblin camp would be safer though, because we just took out the leader.
I mean, we can't really get in without going through that maze.
That's true.
Which, as far as you know, is still being patrolled by minotaurs.
I think we
What
need
if
to
we
find
went
a
back
place
to
to
the-
camp out.
What if we went back to the cave?
Oh,
Okay.
we can do that. The one next to the swamp.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
That is not a bad idea. We could do that. And we already know the way.
That
So
way we have everything.
Is it how was that cave large enough for us all to fit inside?
I think so.
I would rather make a camp there than in the tower tonight.
sure.
Yeah,
the tower
because
probably still needs cement.
you know the way the tower works, and I'll explain it to you now since it's something I've just added. When the tower is damaged, basically you have to not use it for a certain amount of days before it will repair.
That, but also the fact that it's large and it goes above the tree line, and it might draw attention to
And
it.
it, yeah, it
That's
obviously
another
drew the attention of the Gregorian the
Right.
first time.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're going back to the cave?
Mhm.
I don't know why, I just have all this phlegm all of a sudden right when we start. I'm sure I'll get over it.
Do you remember
TMI.
about where that
One
was?
of the worst words.
Where his phlegm is?
We're gonna
My
find a
phlegm is in my
phlegmy
throat.
Yeah.
place in here.
Yeah.
You mean the cave?
The cave, yeah.
It was
It was-
somewhere,
Somewhere
in
between here and here.
Yeah,
Well,
it's,
it
Probably
was
somewhere in here.
northeast of the Goblin camp, which would be
Oh yeah, we were
West
following the river at that
of-
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, we ran north from the Goblin camp, and then we went east, and we found the
Yeah.
cave.
I'll just mark it here. I guess.
it's somewhere around that area between the river and the volcano, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make your way back there, especially with your ranger extraordinaire.
Oh yes.
So, you find your way to the cave, and Hunter does a quick recon, and it still seems to be abandoned for the most part. Yeah, there you are.
Here it is. To rest up here.
I'm
at
like
this
definitely escorting Gloriana as though I'm like her soul savior, and it was
Lady
all
luck
me.
of her dreams.
point, she is not much shorter than you.
Right.
but-
I feel like we have like our arms linked as we're walking.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
just, like,
significantly shorter than the rest of you, and so she does kind of have to like huff and puff to keep up.
I feel like I'd be slowing to match her pace, like the back of the group, just like chatting with her. So how'd you find your way onto this island?
Well, and she's still huffing and puffing. She's like, that's a funny story that's going to take quite a bit of explaining. So perhaps we wait until we find this this cave we're going to, and then I'll explain to all of you all together.
Sounds good.
All right. Oh, you move fast. Right, like I said, you get to the cave, and by this point, it's getting on towards evening. You've still maybe got like 1 or 2 hours of daylight left, tops, but you're getting very close to the end of the day.
Hunter, would you like to get us some food? I think
Or would you like some more berries?
something better than berries would be appropriate.
I can try. And so I will see if I can't scavenge something
Okay,
in the wilds.
roll a survival check.
I will. How does a 20 give me?
A 20 will get you plenty of food. So I looked up the foraging rules,
Oh, okay.
and you roll a d6, and then add your wisdom modifier.
Okay.
And
Sounds like great.
that's how many pounds of food you get, and each
I-
person needs 1 pound of food.
I got 4.
Okay, so you can feed.
But I don't need to eat.
Yeah,
so,
so you can feed everyone then.
Yeah. So I'll come back with
What do you want to come back with?
meat and
Well, like, are you hunting for birds? Are you hunting for?
Oh, okay. I was
Well,
like,
there are boards on the
I don't know. I
Meat
don't,
grows on trees, don't you
So, like,
know this?
maybe like boars
You
or
find a
something.
meat tree.
Yeah. Maybe like some like wild boar or something.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you find some Breath of the Wild boars.
Okay.
Can I make some kind of check to prepare the food and cook it?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of check would that be?
There's
Survival?
actually a cooking utensil,
Oh, really?
which I'm assuming no one has proficiency with.
I don't think so.
Like a cooking kit.
So yeah, for like roughing it in the wild, a survival check, I think.
All right.
Are you like trying to create like
I'm trying to like fix a nice
something that's
He's
impressive
trying
for
to,
Gloriana?
yeah.
Trying to-
He's trying to
There
show
it
off.
14.
Okay. It's
Training
not
and
gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. You do manage to prepare the boar, and you have like a few more like fancy seasonings that you sort of keep in your backpack but don't use very often. That you've picked up from growing up in a noble family, and so yeah, using those, you definitely bring out a meal that is better than your typical campfire meal.
And also every time I sleep to celebrate a successful rescue.
You're here. And may I just take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you individually for that. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come by when you did. Praise the Lady Luck.
Well, you did
You're
send the
welcome.
bottle, and we found it. So
You
good on
did.
you.
You did. Excellent. I knew that there was some value to what I was doing.
Speaking of what we found, and I'll pull out the her explorer's pack. This is yours.
Yeah, and her eyes light up with delight, and she like pulls it over and starts digging through it, and directly pulls out that sort of like blue messenger cap.
Yeah.
And like puts it down over her short, curly bob.
Oh, that's right. You know, for a second back there on the mountain, I thought that I was definitely going to die, but then I remembered if I died right then and there, I wouldn't have been able to return this to you. And that's what kept me going. And I returned the manuscript.
Oh.
Nice.
Boy,
What a charmer.
slick.
She raises an eyebrow and like looks at you with like a half smile, and she goes, "A fan, are you?"
Yes.
And she sort of like narrows her eyes a little bit in
That was so
scrutiny.
perfect.
As you're talking, I'm going to like mage hand my way into his pack and start pulling out the books and just setting them down in front of him with my mage hand one by one.
Okay.
Just sitting there like.
She smiles at you and says, "Well, you're a bit different than my usual demographic, but it's always nice to meet a fan nonetheless."
Well, before I met these, I was traveling on my own for a long time, and without much company, you know, need something to occupy itself.
Well, I've always been told my stories are good for providing a little bit of cheer here and there, or perhaps I lost my card. Here we go. Even providing a good cry when necessary. So, I'm glad to see that you're of the same opinion. Question: was someone holding on to her locket separately?
I have it, yeah.
Okay. As she's digging through her pack, after a few minutes, she gets a little bit frantic, and she looks at all of you and says, "There wasn't a silver locket with my belongings, was there?"
Not that I saw. Did you see it?
I gave you everything that I had on my person.
I'm gonna pull it out of my pack and I'm gonna say, you know, I almost died rescuing you. But I realized that if I died, I'd never be able to return this to you. And I hand it out to her.
She picks up on what you're doing, though. And she takes the locket and she like gives you a little bit of a sly smile. And she opens up the locket and sort of like looks at the picture within. And you guys can roll perception checks if you want to try and get a glimpse of what's in there.
I assume I have disadvantage.
You do. It's true.
Got it.
Yep. I don't see shit. Although I would assume that I had. Well, I probably didn't have a chance to look at it ahead of
I
time.
mean, you could have. You just didn't tell me that you did. So
I didn't. Well, I don't think I had a chance
No,
because
I
I
think
would.
you even specifically said I don't look at the
I'm
side.
not gonna look at it because I don't want them to know I had it. I didn't have a chance to like
Mm.
sneak off and look at it.
Yeah.
So
I got 14.
14?
19.
21.
Okay, I think the three of you all notice. Some of you in more detail than others. The three of you would all see that there's a picture of what looks to be a... where did my notes on this go? A charming curly-haired halfling male, and he's winking in the picture and seems to be blowing a kiss. And the picture is like slightly enchanted, so it moves, so he repeatedly does that motion.
Oh, okay.
With a 21, Hunter notices that on the opposite side from the picture, there are some letters carved into the sort of like the door of the locket, which are WT plus GH.
Ooh. Sitting
and
in
then
a tree.
you get that brief glance, and then she closes it up and fastens it around her neck so that this silver ink bottle is just sort of dangling from her neck.
Okay. Wild thornberries?
You cracked it.
That's exactly
Wait,
it.
Are gnomes?
Smashing!
Smashing!
They're gnomes.
Marianne!
You're right.
Yeah,
Who
and
were
it's
gnomes?
silk and pills it.
You're right. Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was missing.
Yep. You're close though.
Yeah.
Half right.
And then she specifically to Harmony says, "This is one of my most prized possessions. I'm very grateful that you held on to it for me. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Well, shall we get to eating this delicious meal that Mr. I'm sorry, I haven't even got your names yet."
Sir Thaddeus. Hammerlock.
And she does a deep bow and says, "Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance."
That is blushes.
I'm Lady Luck.
She chuckles and says, "Well, now, I know that to be a little untrue, as entertaining as the notion is. What can I call you?"
Harmony.
Harmony. It's a lovely name.
Thank you. Picked it out myself.
I'm Mara. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hunter.
Charmed. And with that, she digs into the boar that Thaddeus has prepared.
And Hunter caught.
That Hunter caught.
You can have the credit. I know Mrs. means to you. I sent you a message. And while they're eating, I'm just gonna like fletch arrows.
Okay.
I'm not gonna eat much. Just a couple bites and then put it away.
While she's eating a little bit, there's a lot of conversation going back and forth, but in the slight gaps of conversations, you see that she's sort of ordering the manuscript back into order. Because a few of the pages have gotten out of order, and she's just meticulously putting it back in the right order, and then sort of sets it aside when she's done.
Is she gonna tell us about how she ended up here?
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
About the time she finishes eating, she leans back and says, "Well, Miss Harmony had asked how I got here and what I was doing, so I suppose I owe you all an explanation."
I think we were all curious.
Well, as you may know, Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, I travel the world for research for my books. And as you may have seen, the title of my latest work is A Match Made in the Abyss. I'm not sure if you read it, and I don't want to give any spoilers away.
I didn't have much time.
You didn't go or weren't planning to go to the abyss, were you?
No, heavens no. Suffice it to say, that was not an option.
Yes.
But this island was the next best thing from everything my research told me. There's very few places in this world where demons tend to cross over the boundaries, and this is one of them. So I came here to research as close as I could get to the beasts. And,
Well, you got pretty damn close.
Yes, well, my research does tend to be dangerous, and I always manage to make it out one way or another due to help from some strangers like yourselves, or...
Did you come here alone? No traveling party? No guards, anything?
Well, I came here on a boat, but the boat left me behind, and returned whence it came. Bastard. And she sort of looks at you in sort of in recollection and says, "If you ever have the opportunity to sail upon a vessel known as Maglubiet's Demise, don't take it."
Wait, was
that
that
the goblin
Yeah.
ship?
mantle? Not that I know. Not that
We know. Yeah, we weren't
Yeah.
there.
So also while she's
I think Thaddeus just looked over at Mara and just noted.
while she's saying that, I also want to do Know Your Enemy and get an idea for her total class levels.
Okay.
She's if she traveled by herself, I was kind of curious.
Her class levels, what you can tell is that whether they
They're inferior or
Inferior.
superior to mine, or whatever you want to tell me.
she has less class levels than you, and less HP than you, and pretty much anything else you could determine is
Okay.
less than what you have.
Okay.
Except for right, so.
That's greatly superior.
I don't know. We
Yeah.
haven't seen Hunter's writing yet.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, impress me.
Know your enemy.
It's down here.
Was there anything else you wanted to get from that? Just the
Curious.
class level?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and you sort of are sizing her up, and you can see that she doesn't have like a significant amount of muscle or anything that would give her fighting ability.
Sure.
Is she armed?
Let's see. Let me look at her sheet.
With pen and paper, good sir.
She has
Pen is my
on her belt a dagger hilt, but there's no dagger in it. And other than that, she doesn't seem to have any weapons. Yes, so I came to this island for research, and research was going well for some time. I had integrated myself into the goblin camp, but they came just yesterday. They came to realize that they no longer needed me, or some such, and took me up the mountain for sacrifice.
Do you speak Goblin?
Of course, I learned it while researching for the Goblin Princess.
Wow.
Does Thaddeus have that book in his possession?
Yes, he's got 3 of them. I think like the 3 of them that would have been laid out were Goblin Princess, Love's Lady Lost, and the Arms of the Sea.
I'm gonna message
Lovely.
Thaddeus and say, why don't you have her autograph them for you?
I come off as a crazed fan.
You should probably say that louder for the microphones.
Oh yeah,
late for
yeah.
that.
Later. I don't want to come off as a crazed fan.
Too late.
Too late.
I think he's giving off a good impression.
Yeah.
Thaddeus does have an 18 charisma.
That's true.
He is sometimes smooth.
Smooth.
So that is when Click was his name, the Goblin chieftain, decided to take me up the mountain and sacrifice me with his other prisoners. And
So were you a member of their camp or were you a prisoner? I'm confused.
a little bit of both, I'd say. The goblins, especially these ones, these demon summoners, are very superstitious, and any attempt to, or any ability to read the signs sent to them by their demon lords is greatly appreciated, and faking that is one thing that I was apparently successful at doing. So, to some extent, they saw me as necessary for a while, until just recently.
Well, that's probably my fault.
And she sort of like tilts her head. inquisitively.
I'm kind of responsible for getting rid of their last pet.
Ah, well, to some degree I have you to thank for that, because I wasn't going to get out of that camp very easily while that thing was around. So,
Come tomorrow, we may all have to go and take care of the next one too.
Well, I took care of the last one. I can take care of this one too. I'm gonna need some sleep first, though.
I think we all could use some sleep.
before that, if you don't mind, you haven't even told me what you're doing on this island? I presume you didn't come here all the way just to rescue me.
No, that was a fortunate happenstance. We are here for a compass. Said to be able to
Compass?
navigate the fog surrounding the Elderhaven regions.
What's on the agenda, Thaddeus?
Well,
You can
since
read the
asked,
excerpt from the book.
current agenda is
Got it written on.
charter a ship. It's crossed off. I should cross more. So reach Kamakama Island. Find magical compass / Gorgon Harbor. It's half done. Set sail for the Elderhaven reaches. Kill Moloch. And some other stuff.
Kill Moloch is on your list?
And some other stuff.
Asshole.
Alquin. However you say his name. The vampire.
Oh, the vampire, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alkeen.
Okay. That's probably gonna be. Yeah, it's probably next after. Set sail for. Yeah, that's similar. I think. But the point is, the next item on the agenda is find magical compass.
Okay.
If you're looking for a compass, I don't... There's not much history about this island that's recorded anywhere I could find. And I do have access to some incredible libraries. But I do know that there's a legend about a way to pierce the veil of that black fog far to the east. And that method seems to be located on this island. And from the little research I was able to do on the island before I was captured by those goblins, I did find that there are certain locations within the island which seem to have some connection to deities of some kind from that land far to the east.
You're right. We've run into one of them.
Yes. From what I can tell, these locations connected to these deities seem to have some further connection to locating this compass.
So we were on the right track.
We have one of them. 3 left.
Yeah.
Do you know where the
There-
shrines are?
If you're referring to these locations, no. Unfortunately, I don't have a good map of this.
Are they marked on our map?
No.
I know they're marked on this map, but are they marked on the map that we have?
The map that you have there is the map that you have.
So
Oh,
so
okay.
we do have them marked on here.
Yeah, there's
this
1, 2, 3.
This one,
There's a
and
fourth one. I don't
there's
see
just 3.
there's
oh,
just
there's
3.
Okay.
There's only 3? I thought there were 4.
There are 4 great spirits, but
Yeah.
there are only 3 shrines.
Oh, that is interesting.
Well, this whole island is shaped like a turtle.
Now you're catching on.
Ah.
One of them is a turtle, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she kind of takes a look at your map and points to the one that is on the eastern side of the island, and says, "Now this one, it looks to be about the same location as one that I've glimpsed, but I didn't have a chance to, or at least I think it might be there. There's a great sinkhole filled with water, and you can just see the tip of a ruin of some kind emerging from the water
So
itself.
it's underwater.
And I'd wager quite a bit of my earnings from my books that that's one of the locations.
Good thing we got those potions.
Yes, I wasn't entirely sure how to navigate it with no ability to breathe underwater, so I had to pass it up. But
Okay.
Is our boat still here?
It should be docked by the foot.
Right, they're waiting
there.
for us, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so we could send Gloriana back to the boat.
um,
Or accompany her back.
I mean, there's another shrine over there too, so
It's true.
Well, it's
Well,
not really.
Yeah, it's
the
not
on the
same.
way, right?
No. Well,
If we went, it's pretty off of our way. We have to go from here all the way down here, then back.
No, there's one right there, isn't there?
Where?
we went to the.
Oh,
no,
no,
I got it.
there's one
I
on the
got my
beach.
perspective
Here,
backwards.
I'll
Yeah,
put the map
we're
up
good.
so that the viewers can see.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one on the beach. There's one east of the mountain. There's and then there's the one west of the mountain, which is the one you
So
want.
we went to
Yeah,
the
no,
lost.
I see what you're saying.
I was just thinking if we all go underwater to this shrine, then she's going to be alone.
That's true.
Either that or one of us has to stay behind with her.
What do you think? Do you want to return to the ship, or would you rather we accompany you there?
She sort of flips through her notes a little bit and sort of gets to a back page where you can see that she has like hand scrawled notes about what she came here to research. And she sort of looks through the notes and says, I think I've got just about everything I need to finish working on my manuscript. So now it's really about finding a place where I can write safely. So I wouldn't mind going back to this this ship you have anchored.
That is
nearby.
talks about just about everything or everything.
I think I should have everything covered based on previous research and what I've attained during this trip.
Because if there's anything else that you need to do here,
Sadie would be very happy to help you research
And
in
how?
any department.
You've already done so much to aid me on this venture. I appreciate the offer, and I can tell just by looking at you that you're all very experienced, and I'd love to pick your brains for stories about your travels and adventures up to this point. For reference for future novels,
Sure.
of course.
well, there is an interesting story that I thought you might like to hear, because I'd like your
Oh.
perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Thaddeus tells the whole story of him and Signy and Runa and Gavin and all that stuff.
As if it were like
Yeah.
a concept for a novel.
Yeah. Like, about himself and using his real name and everything. But yeah,
Ah.
as if it was a concept for a novel. Say,
She sort of like scratches
I'm gonna
her
leave
head
the cave
under
while
that.
he's talking about this. Just sit outside and keep watch. I
That's a
guess.
complicated love triangle you've got weaved there.
no kidding. What do you think? How would you resolve a plot like this if it was one of your stories?
Well, this one might require a sequel if I were to write it out in a novel. It sounds to me like there needs to be some resolution between the two brothers involved. That's a must for a good story. And whether that resolution be by conflict or by peacemaking, something has to happen there, that's for sure. And then there's the matter of the main character's love interest, which, just based off what you're saying, it sounds as if, as you were describing it, did you have any sort of, like, did you keep it pretty unbiased, or was there any, like, leaning to one or the other?
I think he's probably leaning toward Dawn.
Then she's very insightful, so she just says, it sounds as if the main protagonist has already made up his mind and only needs to realize it.
Can I be working on my enchanting outside?
Yep, you can. So roll your Arcana check at disadvantage.
With my charisma bonus.
But yes, with your charisma bonus.
So charisma plus proficiency. Alright.
Cool. Oh, that's disadvantage.
Yeah. But still, 23.
Wow,
Wow,
with
that's really good.
disadvantage?
With
Yeah,
disadvantage?
one of them was a natural 20.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you were getting very close before, weren't you?
I was at 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3 successes?
Yeah.
So yeah, you basically have to spend the rest of the evening until like the sun goes down, and it's about time you're like starting to get really, really tired. But yes, you're able to complete the enchantment, and it feels like the stone that the gem you've enchanted with this will be able to send messages over a very long distance, perhaps even interplanar distances, but only once per day.
Yes.
Nice.
Can I use it right away, or do I have to wait till tomorrow to use it?
It's going to take a little bit of time to like absorb energy
Okay.
from the
Alright.
ambient arcane
Awesome.
energies of the world. But
So I'm erasing this, and we're
Do
gonna
you
call
have
it.
a pair of sending stones, or how does that work?
It's just the one
this is
gem.
a universal sending
Oh,
spell,
interesting.
Mhm.
is what she's created.
Mhm.
So it can cast the sending spell once per day.
That's
Tamara wants to go to bed early because she wants to wake early
Okay.
before the group.
As everyone is sort of starting
What
to,
kind of gem was it? Like, what color was it?
I don't remember.
I don't even remember where I got it from.
Isn't it opal like?
Well, no, it was a gem worth 100 gold. That's all I had.
Was it 100? I thought it was more.
It was 100.
Okay.
This is the most expensive one I had.
Yeah, I don't know what color it was. What color would you like it to have been?
Red.
Red? It's a ruby that was worth 100 gold.
Yeah. I'd like to work on my invention too, if I have time.
What were you working on again?
Electrifying a weapon.
Okay. And you were still in the
I have
design
to
phase.
reconstruct batteries
I'll write
because they are
this
too
here.
small.
Okay,
I rolled
so
a 24 on the last one.
make a Tinker's Tool check using your dexterity this time.
Okay.
To rework the batteries.
7,
I have a disguise
16.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah, you managed to sort of take the collective smaller batteries you have, disassemble them, and using other metal you've bought throughout your journeys and things like that, reconstruct them into a larger battery that may be able to power some electricity through your sword.
Okay.
Mara, as you step into the back of the cave and go to sleep early to try and wake up before everyone, even though you've just eaten, hold on, let me do something real quick.
Oh no, poor Mara.
But you're so hungry.
But did you not like my food?
You feel a sort
It
of
was kind of boring.
Gloriana likes that and writes that down for future reference. You feel sort of like a feeling that it creeps into you, but you can tell it's like it doesn't belong to you, because like you yourself are full. You're very full of all this boar meat that you just ate, but you feel sort of like apart from you a sense of hunger, and it's almost as if someone is in the back of your mind saying hunger, 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 a very tiny, very squeaky voice, hunger, hunger, hunger.
Small like.
Like a rat.
Did she buy something? I don't remember.
She did get gored.
She did get gored a few times.
I did.
And make a perception check.
She went directly and save for those issues.
She did proficient.
10.
10. You also... Does Mara have like a backpack, or where does she keep all her stuff in?
A knapsack.
You see that one of the side pockets of your little knapsack is wriggling a little bit. And as you inspect it, you notice that there seems to have been a hole that has been chewed into the side pocket, or somehow appeared there.
Okay.
And just based off like your feeling of this, just the way that this feeling seems to be entering your mind, you feel like it is coming from that pocket. Like that hunger is coming from the pocket.
Okay. Is it dark? Did we light the...
You've got like a campfire or something going in the cave, I presume?
Yeah, for the cooking.
So you've got some dim light if you've gone to the back of the cave.
Okay, because I was wondering if I need to light a torch so I can inspect it. I'm going to put on my gloves of snaring first. And then I will gently pull aside, start unpacking so it doesn't get into any of my other stuff and see what's in there.
Okay. As you open up that pocket, you can see that you may have maybe had like some trail rations or something like that in that pocket, and they've just been completely eaten up. And what you see in the pocket now, replacing them, is a maybe slightly larger than normal size rat. But its head has an open brain cavity, and you can see its brain inside of its head. And you can just feel this hunger coming from the rat.
So it's kind of like radiating from its brain.
Hunger. And as you open up the pocket, it looks up at you and lets out this little squeak. And its whiskers kind of tremble, and you just feel hunger.
Okay, so I will go back, see if there's any left over from dinner, and feed it.
There's still plenty left over. And it gobbles up the boar meat and sort of looks up at you, and then you just feel this like wave of satisfaction go into your brain, and like gratitude as well.
Okay.
And it just sort of looks up at you, and then skitters to the back of the cave a little ways away from you and lies down.
Okay, I'll make it a little bed.
Just out of like
Yeah.
grass or something like that. Palm
Well,
fronds.
I'm sure I have spare tunic or something. I'll just use that.
Yeah, it sort of curls up into it and tucks its exposed brain under its like paws.
Okay.
And then before long, you just sort of feel from it a sense of like droning drowsiness, and it just eventually lapses into sleep.
Okay.
And you can tell that it's falling asleep.
Okay, I'm thinking of a good name.
Creepy rat pet.
Name it Pinky.
Pinky in the brain.
Yeah.
Pinky in the brain. That's a good one. All right, Pinky.
Pinky the rat.
I think in universe it's because there's so much pink stuff.
See,
Yeah. Yeah.
multi-layered name.
Are you going to bed before or after Gregorian does?
Well, I was going to ask, are you doing any kind
Is that
of
what you
watch?
wanted?
We should do a
We
watch.
should do it.
I kind of assumed I'd take the first one since I'm outside the cave early.
I'll take
If
second.
my character can have it,
That
or I
works.
get my decisions.
And then I guess there'd probably be a need for a third, so you want to
I'm
take
sorry.
a third watch?
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Because Mara's trying to wake up early.
Yes.
You
So
sleep.
I, when my watch is done, and I go to
Um,
wake up Thaddeus,
mhm.
is something gonna happen before
No.
my watch is done? Okay. And I go to wake up Thaddeus and I kick him a little bit.
Ugh.
It's like a sharp pain in your side.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, but can you come outside with me for a bit? I just want to talk to you about something.
Alright. Sure.
So I'll go outside the cave and I'll sit down.
That is stands.
Let me get some better music.
You might as well sit. It's gonna be a long watch.
It's a little bit uncomfortable to sit in armor.
Suit yourself.
Armor. Suit yourself.
I know,
Anyone?
We're full today.
Thank you for not letting me fall back there today.
Of course.
It doesn't change anything.
No. But, well, could it?
I know that we disagree about a lot of stuff. I know that your moral compass is very straightforward. And in a way, I admire that about you. I do, but this morning with that, or this afternoon, or however long ago it was, with that interplanar official, that could be really dangerous for me.
I know. How much of it did you hear?
Look, it doesn't matter what you said. What matters is I'm on a list now, in another plane somewhere. Thank God he didn't get away with my true name. How much do you know? I think I've asked you this before, but about tieflings.
You would know very little because in this world, tieflings are sort of like, I don't want to say like the stuff of legend, but the stuff of folklore. Like
Yeah,
to
I think-
see one is pretty rare.
I think the stuff that he said earlier when we were talking about Malak is what he knew. Like, there were cautionary tales told at the academy about, like don't get involved in evil powers, because if you do, remember what happened in 1,000 Days?
Mm-hmm.
That's Asmodeus, I guess is how you pronounce it. But, like, that's what I know.
Yeah.
I don't know about their current society, I don't know anything. I know that long ago there was a demon named Asmodeus who made the deal, and then the tieflings were the result.
You would actually know that Asmodeus wasn't a demon, but actually
Oh, right, yeah. A devil?
he was an angel who
Oh.
fell
Okay.
from grace.
I'm not sure I even know that much, honestly. I don't think that they teach that, like, actually, once Asmodeus was good.
Yeah.
Well, you know he's a powerful devil.
He's
Right,
a
right.
powerful devil, yeah.
So, I say about what you've heard.
I'm going to tell you something about my people. And you can do with the information as you want, but maybe it'll help you understand me a little better.
I would like that.
During my great-great-grandmother's time, my people still lived in the Nine Hells. It wasn't a very good life for us there because we weren't really devils, but we weren't really humans either. And there was a genocide, and only a few of us escaped, thanks to my great-great-grandmother and her magic. That's the story they tell me anyway. We came to this plane and we took on new names and we protected ourselves because as far as we know, Asmodeus and the other leaders of the Nine Hells might still be after us. My name being on a list might be really dangerous for me.
So you're not afraid of the Bureau as much as what happens if somebody comes across the Bureau's information. I see.
Yes. I've already done a lot to fuck up things for my people. I think the best thing that I've done for them is left. But if danger came to them because of me, then I'm even more of a failure than I thought I was.
Well, let me say a few things as well. One, I'm also on that list, as registered as your guardian. So,
My what?
someone who is there to look out for you. That's what I volunteered. That's why I asked how much of the conversation you heard, because I intend to stay with you and stick by your side. And two, a lot of what I said to you, you didn't deserve. Most of what I said to you in the last day or week or two are things that I wish I could have said to my brother. But he's not here, and he wouldn't listen if he was. So I took it out all on you. And I'm sorry.
Thank you. We may not always agree, but I hope you at least try to listen to me sometimes when you're upset and when you want to kill me.
Never wanted to kill me.
You did that first time we met.
Well,
I saw it a little bit in your eye. A
a
little bit.
Truce?
You're not going to kill my imp when he gets back, are you?
I probably will.
Not right away, though.
Maybe not right away.
Okay. I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Go back to my cave.
And so Thaddeus is kind of left to the night. You watch as the moon gets high in the sky. There's a swarm of bats that flies around the sky, but it doesn't seem like they're bothered with anything so low on the horizon as this cave that you found yourself in. And they just kind of swarm across the entire island in vast circles. And you can kind of watch them as they come into view and then leave your view. And eventually your watch ends.
Okay. And I'll go wake up Hunter if he's not already awake. I don't know how this
I'm
works.
present.
Yeah.
Still. I know what's going on.
I don't kick him away. I just,
Yeah.
Like,
Just come by and I'll.
Hunter.
My turn. Okay. And then I'll just get up. Continue fletching arrows to replenish my lost stock, and then I watch.
Okay. Did we have a set number of how many arrows?
You said it was some. I forgot how many per hour that you let me do. It was like
You
I think it
said
was like
between
maybe one per
one
hour.
per hour.
Does that sound
3 or
right?
I
something.
just had this conversation today in episode 6. It's weird.
You did have this conversation?
I know she was
So
watching
I
this
know.
conversation.
I know, it's 1 per hour.
That's
It's
really
insane.
weird. That's really weird.
That is weird.
Our scribe.
Back in episode 6, we decided.
Melissa, you're
Almost the same.
keeping me honest from
Verbatim.
stuff from before you were even there.
That's great.
That's
And
impressive.
how long was the watch?
Talk about like the
weird.
note taker.
Like
that
4 hours or
Like
so?
4 hours.
So I'll replenish.
And then
What else do
Okay,
you
so-
know that we don't know?
So, okay, so I'm going to get up and have a little conversation with Hunter
Okay.
privately.
when you wake up, he's the only one who's
Yeah,
awake.
I'm
so
there.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Kind of
So-
step over Gloriana, who's just sitting there snoring on the cave
Solid
floor.
logs.
Okay, so did I get enough rest that I'm level?
Yes.
Okay.
So Mara and
Yay.
Thaddeus will be leveling to 13.
I just pulled out my
Okay,
new character
Hunter.
sheet.
Oh boy.
Do you remember the Goblin King?
What about it?
Do you remember that shiny thing that he had on his belt?
I don't know if I saw it actually, because I didn't scry, right? Unless you told me.
No, but you were looking through your
Yeah,
scrolls a lot of the time.
sure.
I'd say you probably saw that if you had,
The
a
blue
shiny
dagger.
dagger.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Looked
It
something
fell,
special.
It fell off of him when Dad cut his head off.
Okay.
I'm gonna run up and get it.
You should. Why don't you wait for the rest
I'm
of us?
sneaky. No, because I'm sneaky. I can do it. I can sneak up there, get it, and come back before everybody's awake, okay?
God.
Why don't you want to wait for us though?
Because it's out of the way, and I'll be back, and everybody will have a chance to rest and do whatever you need to do. And I can do this. I'm a thief, remember? Nobody else seems.
I mean, if that's what you want, I mean, someone else can come with you if you want.
No, you stay here and watch
You
everybody.
know that you'll have more trouble navigating the jungle quickly
How about-
without Hunter.
How about I take you out of the jungle so you can get there faster?
Well, who's gonna watch the camp?
How long is the travel? I mean, I feel like I'm gonna wake up soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably
That's exactly
Gloriana's
what I
going to
needed.
wake up
Yeah,
soon,
so
but
I
she
would
didn't
like-
take a watch, so...
I don't think you'll be able to fletch as many arrows if you do this thing.
Yeah. So maybe I'll hold on a second, and I'll lightly tap Gloriana.
What's that? Oh, sorry.
I'm
Yes,
like,
Hunter?
good morning.
Good morning.
Mara and I need to step out for a little while. Could you watch the lab
Yes,
for about
that's-
30 minutes
That's
or
fine.
so?
No problem.
Thank you. We'll be
Leave it
right
to me.
back.
And she sort of
I normally
like pulls up a scroll on the front.
I normally wouldn't bother with a dagger, but it looked uncommon. We might be able to
Okay.
use it.
So I'll at least show you to the edge. And then how far away is it from like the edge of there to the actual volcano?
I mean, it's a pretty tall volcano, so it's a bit of a climb, which would go faster if a ranger were pointing out the way to go.
Maybe,
So.
I'll just come with you. And then I'll just help Laura and be like, we're going to be gone a little bit longer, actually. So you could just...
Yep, no problem. I'll hold these two here as long as you're not back yet. So,
Okay.
no worries. Be careful, though. It's dangerous out there.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Sweet.
On your way there, you do find something.
Okay.
As you're navigating through the jungle, you're making your way through some trees, and sort of Hunter's taking the lead. But Mara, you trip over something, and as you sort of like stumble a little bit and get a better look at it, you see that it is a skeleton.
Ooh.
And it is, well, it's like a leg bone from a skeleton that was on the ground. And then you sort of look up after you stumble, and you see that the rest of the skeleton is lashed to a tree with vines. And it seems to be, it has like little bits of flesh still holding the skeleton together. And it's got this sort of like dog-like skull. But other than that, it looks to be about the same size as like a human, maybe a little bit larger. And it has the same general like limb configuration. And it's just lashed to this tree and just set there.
Is there anything else around it, like a pack or anything that might have had?
Roll a perception check.
21.
You see that a little ways off, there's a spear that seems to be like cast aside. It's a crudely made stone spear. And then there's also a short bow that's been snapped in half.
Oh. Okay, so nothing useful. Do you need the...
There are a couple short bow arrows, though. So we'll say, with the short bow, you find 5 short bow arrows.
Okay.
And
Kind
then,
of creepy, isn't it?
not long after that, you find your way to the edge of the volcano. And make your way up to the top with Hunter's help. And by the time you get to the top, it's maybe taken like an hour to get up here. It definitely would have taken much longer without Hunter.
Okay.
And you find there's just this, at the top of the volcano, there's no signs of like the bodies of the demons that were killed. There was one of the vulture demons, and actually there were 2 of the vulture demons that died. And then there were the 2...
There were 4 rocks, 2 ape guys, and then
2 ape guys you saw ripped apart by
10
the Ghost
goblins, and then the chieftain, I think.
The goblin bodies are all there, though many of them seem to have been flattened and stomped by something.
Oh, God.
There's no demon bodies. There's just these puddles of like black, and it's since like the stone is hot, it's like black bubbling liquid that just reeks of like sulfur as you get close to it.
Yuck. I don't think we can use any of that for something like oil or anything. No reason to
I don't think I would have any indicator or any
Okay.
reason.
But then at the very lip of the volcano, where the sacrifices were being made, and there's still the bodies of 4 gnolls lashed to these bestial totem poles, as well as 1 goblin body that has a dagger wound through its heart. But at the very top of the lip, near all of this, you find the body of the goblin leader in his decadent abyssal robes, and in his hand is clutched that blue steel dagger, which now that you get close to it, you can see is a very similar make and design to the one that Robbie, the grung creature, showed you.
Mm.
Okay.
But it's a different color. The other one was like a pale steel, and this one's like a blue steel. And they both kind of shined with this magical energy.
Hi, Anna. I'm coming. I got it.
Can I check while we're there? I want to check the chieftain's body a little bit more closely. See if he has anything else on him.
Roll an investigation check.
He had a sheath, I think, too. I'm going to take that as well.
Yeah, he did have a sheath for the dagger specifically.
13?
It looks like he might have had a potion or something strapped to his hip.
Yeah.
But he was like fumbling with it to get it loose when Thaddeus was attacking him, and it's probably rolled over the lip of the volcano because it doesn't seem to. There's like this leather strip that was obviously holding a bottle, and it's just gone, nowhere to be seen.
Okay, but you said like abyssal robes. Is that just like the
Yeah,
markings on it or
his
something?
robes had like abyssal symbols
Oh, okay.
on them.
But they're not. They don't come across as being like magic robes or anything.
You don't really have a way of knowing. Well, actually, no, you dispel magic with your bow. You don't detect it. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess I could just take them if I would have any indication that they might be, without knowing.
It's
We can
possible.
just toss
Wouldn't be
them
the
later.
first villain we've stripped naked.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, if I think that I'll just take the robes then. Sure, why not?
I mean, he's still got like a loincloth under there, so he's not completely.
I'm not taking that.
Yeah. He hides his gold under there. Don't you want to
Putting
use
it in my pants.
Does he have? I shook him when he jingled,
No, he doesn't. Do that.
and I'm not checking. I kind of kicked him a little bit. No jingle. Okay, let's go. I'm not picking that up. That's the moon.
That's the moon.
You would moon me if I picked it up. Yeah.
Hunter, when you get a good look at the dagger that Mara has sort of picked up and has taken in hand, you can see that it has ancient keen runes carved into it, which say
Alice, can I see that for a second?
Sure.
Thunder God.
Oh, okay. And I'll share that with you. That says Thunder God on
That's
it
the
in
one
keen.
that what's his face had said wind god.
Okay.
And that's just sort of like on the blade, and then the rest of the dagger is decorated with like carved patterns of lightning bolts and things like that, and like storm clouds.
Cool.
We're making some noise with this baby.
Not until we get back to camp. And I guess we'll head back. If
Okay.
there's nothing else of note.
Yeah, you sort of trace your path back through the jungle, and by this time, the rest of you are all awake, and Glorion has explained to you that Hunter and Mara ran back up to the volcano for something.
Alone? Well, I guess.
The metal one, Mr. Hunter, seemed to believe that they'd be fine if they went together. He actually stopped Miss Mara from going off on her own, so figured that was better than nothing.
Well, there's no way we'll be able to track him.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
No one can damage that one anyways. I saw that for myself.
Says
Like
the
I
DM.
said.
No one can damage that one
Okay.
anyways.
I saw it for myself.
Somehow, the dice are in my favor.
I'm going to go out of the cave.
That
And
reminds me, Harmony. You are not awakened by the sounds of the birds or anything like that. You're awakened by like a buzzing in the back of your head. It feels like there's something trying to get your attention, and as you sort of come to consciousness, have you received this ascending spell before? I'm not sure.
I think just the reply to the one that we
That you
sent
sent
to
before?
Kay.
It's that same feeling, and you can instantly tell that this is from Radiance.
Oh,
And as soon as you become aware of who it's from, you hear in Radiance's voice in your head, Harmony, I had a dream last night, and I just wanted to check in. Something might be coming for you. Something vengeful and completely wreathed in black flames. Just be careful, okay?
Radiance, thanks for the warning. I'll watch my back. Hope you're doing okay too.
And I think she'll actually spend a spell slot to send you another another message back up.
Notification.
Another text message.
Bing!
Another text, yeah. She spends the text fee to just text you back even though you're out of range.
Gonna get charged overage fee by the bureau.
He's out of plan.
Oh no, the data point.
And she says, I'm just glad to hear you're fine. Just be careful. It was a non-descriptive and disturbing dream. Be careful.
Thank you, Radiance. I'll be careful, I promise. Send everyone home, my love.
And then after that, you don't get any more responses. And now that everyone is awake, I need a wisdom saving throw from each of you.
Everybody?
Yep.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Did you want- okay.
But you do have the +4 from it because you were there.
That's true.
Well, I mean, it represents the whole night during which Thaddeus was
Oh,
unconscious.
so I don't
for-
have the
okay.
+4, but I still
So
have
even that is.
Even Thaddeus
Okay.
doesn't have +4.
disadvantage.
I'll have to subtract from this one.
Gloriana makes her
What?
save.
Well, I like.
minus to wisdom?
No. Because
You
I like.
just automatically added it to it.
I figure most of the time I'm gonna be making saves when I'm awake, right?
Yeah.
That's a fair assumption for most times.
So does the effect? Okay, never mind. Well, I'll ask when you're good.
9.
9 also.
9.
7.
9, 9, 9,
Wow. Okay.
7. Okay,
We all
So-
did shit!
so it was 9,
Mm-hmm.
9, 9, 7.
Mhm.
Okay. So Harmony and Hunter fail again. You two. The DC was 8 for the two of you, and it was 10 for the two of you
Because we failed once
because you
before.
failed once before.
Okay.
So let me roll
Interesting.
some things.
I forgot about this shit.
So did I. Apparently. I don't know what's about to happen.
Remember I ran into the woods last time?
Oh,
so I
right.
was
Right.
hallucinating.
Yep.
Yep.
I do remember this.
So for Harmony,
Cool.
let's see.
Okay, critical hit.
Twice.
Twice. You're asleep again.
When you are awakened and you get a glimpse and you see Mara coming back into the cave, you feel like this, and you know that this is in your brain, like the rational side of your brain knows that this is crazy, but you feel this intense revulsion for Mara, and you just don't want to go near her.
That's really sad.
That is really
It's the
sad.
saddest thing that's happened all session.
And then for Hunter,
So this is happening when we return to the cave.
yeah, just sort of as the night is ending and the sun is coming back up.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Let me find out what it is. As the sun is starting to rise over the horizon, Hunter,
Yes.
and you're sort of chatting with Mara as you come back to the cave. When you get sort of within sight of the cave, you find that even though you're looking at Mara and you can see her mouth is moving, you can't hear a word she's saying.
Oh, weird.
Is the effect on Harmony a fear effect?
Unsure.
Okay.
It seemed like, without her describing it to you, you're unsure.
Well, I'm asking for mechanical reasons because,
Ah.
like, creatures within 10 feet can't be frightened while
Let me
unconscious.
double check the specific spell references.
So I can't hear what Mara's saying.
So I'm coming in and I'm like showing off my dagger and you can't hear me.
And I'm like,
And she doesn't care.
It does
She's just-
And I'm
technically
just like,
count
"Oh."
as frightened, even though it is a revulsion thing, but also the saving throw wasn't against this effect, it was against what triggered this effect. So,
Yeah, all it says for Aura of Courage is you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened while you're unconscious.
okay, so, what I'll say is then, this effect takes place and you sort of like back up into the cave, and then as soon as you sort of like bump into Thaddeus, and then as soon as you bumped into Thaddeus, you feel that revulsion fade.
Okay.
but I still can't hear her.
But then if you like scrabble away from Thaddeus and get towards the side of the cave or something like that, and you look at Mara again, the revulsion sets in.
Okay.
So, look what I found. Look what I found.
Oh, you.
Didn't have time to get it, so I went out and got it.
Mara, are you saying
That's-
something?
They're resourceful.
Did you
of you.
take that from
The
The
Goblin
frog?
King.
But
The
also, I
Goblin
don't
King.
Oh.
quite understand why you left the rest of us behind.
Because I wanted you guys to get your full rest because you had watch duty and I didn't.
Well,
I went to bed early.
that was kind of foolhardy of you.
Are you just
It
reading
worth
her
it.
lips? Or is she actually
That's
saying
my
something?
Mara.
No,
It's
she's
worth it.
she's talking.
Are you like talking extra loud?
Yeah, I'm like, I can't hear Mara. She's not. You're not just reading her lips, right?
Can,
No, she's
can he
talking.
hear us?
Yes. Oh, I can't hear anybody.
Nope. Can't hear
And I'm like,
anything.
are you guys
The
saying
world
something?
has gone quiet.
Hunter?
I can't hear anything.
Can I message you through the ear? Can you hear
Sure.
this?
Can I hear that?
Message actually requires like a
Yeah.
whispered
Oh, yeah.
message.
Mhm.
Nothing. But you guys can hear me, right? When I'm
Weird.
talking.
He
Yeah.
talks really loud.
And I'm like really loud.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
hello?
Hello.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's weird. So, guys.
Hang on, wait.
Was Gloriana affected?
Gloriana seems to be fine, and she's sort of like looking around at the rest of you, like, "What's going on?
Something like this happened before.
Is he
don't you
okay?
remember?
Yeah, waking up in this place is weird.
I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration on Hunter.
Can that cure or deafen?"
That's a good question. Let me look at the spell effects.
I can look it up too.
I don't know what it is. I just
Yeah,
live here.
blind, deaf, paralyzed.
Then yeah, as Thaddeus, you can tell he's enchanting some kind of spell, and then as the spell completes, you again hear the sounds of the jungle flood into your ears.
That appeared to work. I think.
Hunter, can you hear me?
Hi, Harmony. I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Yes.
I may be a genius.
I think we should leave.
Wait,
But you're not
wait.
sure. That's
your
the sign you're
route.
not.
Look,
This is intriguing.
I'm working on it. Look, and I take the ruby out of my bag and say, I put a spell into this, and now we can send a message to Mandus. What should we say?
We should ask him for the location of the Shadowfell gate he was taken through.
We know where that is.
Oh.
Well, we know where the gate that his was being protected is. No, I want to tell him that we know that he's in trouble and stuff,
How can we help?
right? And we're planning to go there after we find the compass, right?
Right.
So what do you think? A couple days?
Maybe longer than that. I don't know how long
Well-
it'll take us here.
We have to be careful because that
A few
vampire
days.
might.
Intercepted the scry.
Yeah.
But that could be because he saw the seeing eye.
In any case, we have to be just wary that
This
Mandus will
magic
know.
works differently, I think.
Well, Mandus will know. He might know too. We don't know the magics that are in place.
If he is under the vampire's control, he's likely to help anyway.
Yeah.
So do you think we shouldn't let him know that we know that he's in trouble?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
actually.
either.
I know it might be upsetting for you, and I know it's certainly not a good time for Mandus, but if we have the element of surprise, I think that's best.
Probably.
Okay. I put the ruby away.
Good work, though.
Yes,
Is there anyone else
amazing
you want to
stone.
send a message?
Yes, but not right now.
Okay.
Not in front of everybody.
I would know who that is. Seal.
Oh, yeah, she's on my list.
Do you have to know
Oh,
where,
it's not- that's
where
not the
they
person?
are, or
Okay.
it just finds them?
It finds them.
Ah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty slick.
Thaddeus, meanwhile, goes outside of the cave and starts
So Harmony,
Begging.
that revulsion kicks in again.
I'm
and
gonna go
starts
out and take a
begging
walk.
aside ahead for a more impressive steed.
I'm sorry.
Now that
Ah.
Gloriana is around.
How long
Might
does
as well
that spell
give it to
take?
You. You don't know. ask him.
Let's see.
What are you doing? What's Thaddeus doing?
He's going outside
okay?
to cast a spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying not to spit my wine everywhere.
Takes
Just
10,
like
10
Harmony
minutes.
is trying to not throw up at.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh. All right. That's what you were telling me before.
Yeah, so you spend your time casting the ritual, setting aside all of the different components of it.
I feel like
and
we're all
when
kind of watching.
Mara, or
There's
not
actually no material components, it's just verbal and somatic.
Oh.
The spell is just 10 minutes of Thaddeus saying, listen, I really need to impress this author. This is my only chance. Please.
Mara, you feel the muse energy come to you as your god answers your prayer.
Oh my gosh.
And stepping out from a plane of light appears Moonlight Sparkle.
Moonlight Sparkle, my old horse,
The
who
new
now
form.
has wings.
Do you want to describe?
Yeah,
the new
describe
Moonlight
Moonlight
Sparkle?
Yeah.
Sparkle for the audience.
Moonlight Sparkle.
That's right.
So good.
Moonlight Sparkle has dark navy fur with little like tufts of white hair or silvery hair around the hooves and the silvery mane and silvery tail.
Okay.
And the most impressive feature is this massive wingspan of bird-like feathers that comes off from the shoulders of the horse.
Same color as the fur, the wings.
Cool.
And Gloriana's eyes go wide and she says, "A Pegasus! I've never seen one for myself. May I touch it?"
Of course.
And
This is my steed, Moonlight
She
Sparkle.
runs up to it and sort of like reaches up her hand because she's so much
How
lower
can
than
he
its
say
head.
that with a straight face?
Oh my gosh, did you have to like practice that? Or you just like Moonlight Sparkle, Moonlight Sparkle?
Gloriana would recognize it because it's named after one of the characters from one of her books.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then she sort of, as she's touching its head, she says, "You said Moonlight Sparkle.
That's right.
Did you have in mind what book that would be from?"
I think this is from The Lover of the Gods. Thaddeus is not carrying on it, but has read before.
Would you happen to be referencing one of my characters from The Lover of the Gods?
It's one of my favorites.
I'm touched. This is a truly magnificent creature. And she's just like reaching up as high as she can to pet its head. You don't think I could ride on it, perchance, sometime?
I can show you the world.
We might be doing a bit of scouting, and there might be a chance.
It would be for research purposes, of course. It would make my day, perhaps even my year, to be able to ride on this creature.
Then I
She
would.
sort of like pets me. Like,
Shining,
Yeah.
shimmering splendor, would you say?
How's your singing voice then?
Yeah.
Impeccable.
Deception check.
While they're doing this, I'm going to go into the back corner of the cave alone.
Mhm.
And I'm going to cast Sending. And I'm going to contact Eli in Redwater.
Oh,
What are you
that's
gonna
it.
say?
And I'm going to say, "Hi, Eli. This is Harmony. I'm on another adventure. And I kind of miss you.
Call me.
Is it okay if I come visit when we're done here? I think we need your help. Okay, bye."
And there's a bit of a pause. Maybe a few minutes go by before you get a reply. And the reply you get is, "Harmony, this is some impressive magic. When did you learn to do this?" But that doesn't matter. I think we may need your help, actually, to be honest. Something's going on in Ravenmoor, and it's spreading. If you could come quick, that'd be appreciated. We need you. Bye. And that's when the message closes.
Oh. This is not good.
I
The
run
plot
out.
thickens.
Yikes.
I run out of the cave and I grab Hunter because Thaddeus is busy.
Okay, so I'm grabbed. A grapple check, though.
Grab.
I
I
let it
think
happen.
Thaddeus is like, actually, it occurs to me that a ride on Moonlight Sparkle here might be the best way to get you back to the ship.
Hey.
This is true.
Oh my
Hey!
You've got a keen mind. I like you.
god. And off they go. Into the
Anyway,
sparkling
continue.
morning.
Alright, no. I grab onto Hunter and I'm like, "Hunter!"
Yes.
Hunter!
Yeah. I can hear you. Don't worry, I can still hear you. I think.
Maybe you can't hear it yet.
We need to hurry.
Why?
Whatever's happening in Ravenmoor, it's spreading.
How do you know?
Because I talked to Eli.
How's he doing?
He sounds good. But he said they're in trouble
Okay. Well,
and they need us.
Okay. I mean, yeah. That's.
I was
makes
thinking, maybe like because Redwater is kind of, close, that we could teleport there when we're done here instead of just teleporting straight to Ravenmoor. Because maybe Ravenmoor is like infested with bad things and we'll just get hurt right when we appear there. But if we go to Redwater and then Eli has like, the angel thing going on, so maybe he can help us.
Clerics are notoriously good at dealing with undead.
Yeah, that's
That
you know.
sounds reasonable.
right. That's why I was thinking maybe I'd, call him and like see how he's doing, and then also if he could help us. But it sounds like he needs our help.
Okay. I think that sounds fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to hurry.
Is that it? Is there
And
something?
I just run out.
Okay.
Come on, we have to find the next shrine.
Okay.
Alright, so where are you guys heading?
Hunter misses something completely. It's like I'm
I'm
gonna go
gonna-
get
It's like
berries.
after a whole night of listening to like the romance novels and
Yeah.
stuff, I'm like, I miss Eli.
Yeah. I figured that's about
yeah.
We'll get to Eli eventually, Melissa, as you're watching the series.
He's so great.
I'm gonna tell the others that I'm gonna fly Gloriana back to the ship, but I'll meet you.
Do you want to meet us at the next
at where
shrine?
we're going at the
Okay.
next shrine.
Which one are you going to? The east one?
The one that's on the way closest. Yeah, the east. We'll go in the circle.
What's the flying speed of your?
90 feet.
Nice.
Pretty quick.
It's
very
pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Safe travels. We'll see you in a little while, Gloriana.
Have a safe trip.
Don't
Nice
fall,
to meet you.
Don't fall off the Pegasus.
All right. So you guys start heading off to the east, sort of around the base of the volcano, and Thaddeus and Gloriana hop on Moonlight Sparkle, take off into the air. The wind whooshes past you at breakneck speeds, and there's just like you can hear Gloriana's breath leave her
Over,
body.
sideways, and under on a magic
Magic
Pegasus
carpet
ride.
A whole new world.
Hold your breath if you have to.
And yeah, you can actually hear Gloriana's breath leave her as the thing just whooshes upwards.
Oh my gosh.
I think Daddy's a little startled too. He's never been on that Vegas.
He's like playing it cool.
Yeah.
Roll a performance check.
Inside, he's like, holy shit, this is fast.
Holy shit. I forgot to put reins on this thing.
18.
18. Yeah, I mean, partially because she can only really like hold on to your back, and partially because you're just that cool. You managed to
Give you a
put
Latin
on
song,
the air
yeah.
so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you get up above the volcano really quick. And then from there, you head out towards the coast where you know the boat is docked. And it's not long before you're soaring over the jungle at the very edge of the coast.
One thing I want to do while we're in the air
Yep.
is make a check to see if I can spot signs of the Garistro.
Roll a perception check.
In between verses. In between Jasmine's lines.
10.
You can
That
see around the base of the volcano,
Mhm.
right on the north side, you can see that there's signs of trees being felled
Mhm.
recklessly. But it's not in any sort of a consistent path that you can track, especially at the speed you're
Yeah,
moving.
yeah.
So you can tell it descended from the volcano into the jungle
And went northish.
at first, but it's
Okay.
hard to tell from there where it went.
Okay.
Garistro?
Garistro.
Oh.
And so when you come into view of the shoreline, you are greeted by a sight you did not quite expect, which is that in the little bay where you docked the Drowning Kiss, the Drowning Kiss is still there, which you obviously didn't expect. No. And it's anchored there, but anchored next to it is another ship you've seen before,
Oh, come on.
and it is the Bronze Worm,
Oh.
the ship owned by the East Freighton Mercantile Corporation,
Huh.
and it is docked right next to the Drowning Kiss in the bay.
Huh.
Oh shit.
Huh. It's a good thing I did some recon this way.
Oh shit.
I was wondering if Harmony was going to teleport onto the Drowning Kiss, but I forgot about Moonlight Sparkle.
I know ways to teleport.
I think we'll descend down onto the deck of the Drowning Kiss.
Okay. As you're getting close to that, you can begin to get a better look at the deck of both ships together. And there doesn't seem to be anyone aboard the Drowning Kiss that you can see. But aboard the Bronze Worm, you can see that there are several men and women clad in the garb of the East Trade and Mercantile Corporation, and they are each carrying a sword of some kind and what looks to be longbows. And as they spot you, very obviously in the sky, you can see that they're drawing bows and just sort of waiting for you to get close.
I don't think I'm not going to land.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but we're not landing yet.
And she sort of like is able to see down as well. She's like, based on what I'm seeing, I'm inclined to agree with you. This doesn't seem like the best plan.
And I'm going to turn back and head for the shrine.
Turn around. A whole new world.
Not that world. So do you want to try and like intercept your friends? Because it didn't take you very long to get where you're going.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and
You guys get maybe like an hour into your travel through the jungle before you spot Thaddeus and the Pegasus flying above. And between the two groups of you,
Like
you're able
shout.
to shout and
Message
rendezvous.
each other, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say,
Like-
as if we didn't have enough problems.
Welcome back.
What happened?
We're
You
not
weren't
going to be
there.
wanting to go back there anytime soon.
You weren't there when Mara and I toured the harbor. But, Mara, do you remember the Bronze Worm?
Yeah.
The EFMC ship?
Yeah, I
It's
remember.
here. And they have what appears to be all of the Drowning Kisses sailors captive. They were drawing on us as we moved to land, which is why I didn't drop Gregorian off.
Did they follow us? How could they have
Is
followed
They
it
us?
couldn't
the
possibly
night
follow us.
night wings? I forget.
The Night Claws.
Night claws.
So
Mercer
they're-
and Melissa Nightclaw.
Did you see the night claws?
It was all over very quickly. Like I said, that they were drawing on us, and they didn't want to risk Gregorian or Woman Light Sparkle.
Well, let's just hope they didn't track you back here.
On this steed, I don't think so.
It's pretty obvious from the sky.
It's also very fast. They could
Yeah,
no,
but they saw
could
which
no more track
direction
us from
you
the
flew
bronze
off
form
in.
than they could track a bird.
Okay, regardless, we don't have that much time.
I agree with you.
Did,
We need to finish our business so that we can free.
Luckily, we don't
Constance.
have to go back to the ship. We can just leave.
Well, what about Constance?
Well, she said herself multiple times that she's ready to die.
Retire. Harmony.
And Gloriana sort of
I'm
raises an
kidding.
eyebrow and says,
I'm
"That doesn't
kidding.
mean the rest of her crew is willing to die."
I'm kidding. Look, they're probably gonna be fine. Look, it's us that they want.
If I were writing this story, the four of you would make a daring attempt to rescue them, but I'm not writing this story, so
We also don't
Leave it
have
to you.
time. Like, there's a scourge on Ravenmore that has spread to Redwater, and now
We
who
are
knows what other cities? It's like
we are near a shrine. I agree with you. Let's do this
you want
shrine.
to save like 8 people or 800.
Let's do the shrine. Let's do the last shrine. Let's figure out this compass. Then Constance. Then Eli.
if it makes your decision
We need to
easier,
make it
at the
new.
very worst case scenario, I'm confident I can talk my way onto this ship one way or another.
You see, that's the agenda.
I hate your
Now I need a
agenda.
new agenda.
Hunter loves the agenda.
What I wanted to ask that I just realized was, did Mara spend some time attuning with her new dagger?
I would
have
assume
to.
so.
You'd probably have to lose your Rapier of Wounding attunement.
It's either the rapier or one of the other ones,
Yeah.
right?
What
Another
what
thing.
Or
all
the
you
crystal
attune
ball.
to?
She's got the rapier,
Oh,
the
the
crystal
crystal
ball, and
And the gloves
The
require
gloves,
attunement too.
Does anyone not have full
Yeah.
attunement right now?
I'm full.
I'm full.
I'm full as well. Okay. Can you base the number of
Wait.
attunement items?
if you're an artificer, you can.
Artificers can have
Or
up
if you
5.
get certain
awesome.
magic
So
charms.
what is
So
it? This
what-
one requires attunement,
Yeah, and so does the gloves.
and these do,
I
These
wrote it
do-
on there.
and not this one.
Not
Not
these
this
ones.
one.
It's not
It's
this one either. It's the
the crystal ball.
that crystal ball. Yeah.
We need that one.
Yeah, but
So,
So-
if you're getting a new weapon, then
yeah,
get rid of this
let's
one. You can
get
just
rid
give
of
that
the
one back to me or
swords.
something.
Let me double check that the sword does require
it
attunement.
says it
That's-
requires attunement on
Yeah,
the card.
I think it does. Unless you want to like remove it.
That, or you could give me the crystal ball and I can unattune something and unattune the crystal ball. It's up to you. Because I've got these dragon
Yeah,
scale
okay.
earrings that I don't need to be attuned to. Because how often do we meet poison stuff?
Okay.
Unless if you want to keep,
No,
if you want to,
I'd rather have the swords. Ooh.
So,
Lightning.
So she
Uh,
unattuned to the crystal ball, and I'll unattune to the dragon scale
Yes,
earrings.
the
I'm gonna keep
thunder
wearing
steps.
them, but I'm just not gonna be
it's
attuned.
gonna.
Dagger lightning.
So I can't use them.
Ooh, so it's
So when's the last time I used
But for
them?
reasons, you're going to keep wearing them.
Yes. Well, also they're super
Yeah,
fashionable.
yeah.
It's a sword dagger, but it deals lightning damage instead.
I've actually been eyeing that crystal ball
That's
for a
really
long
cool.
time.
So
Oh, that's really
I'll
cool.
explain the dagger Raijin to the rest of the audience. It deals an extra 1d6 lightning damage when you hit with it, which is really great with your sneak attack.
So that'll be 8.
And you can use an action to cast the Thunder Step spell with it once per day, which I think I failed to write down. So
No, you wrote Thunderspell, you just didn't say what it did. But it's not here either, is
it's
it?
in Xanathos.
Xanathos? Okay.
What's it called?
Thunder Step.
Thunderstep.
It's kind of like
So-
Harmony's
get a
Dimension
phrase.
Door, but a shorter range,
Oh, shit.
and the space you leave, everything around it takes thunder damage.
That's
Oh
really cool.
shit!
Ooh.
And then when you hit with the dagger, lightning jumps from your original target to another target within 20 feet, so you can make an attack against that, and it deals dagger damage, but it's lightning instead.
You can also just take a picture of this and copy it later.
That's
You
a
wanna
good
do
idea.
And then the last property is that you can teleport the dagger back to your hand, regardless of distance, as long as it's not on a different plane.
Wow.
that? Do rogues get anything for like throwing weapons too? So if he throws the dagger,
Yes, you can sneak attack with a thrown dagger.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what it does.
Oh, I love this.
So
thing.
it's very clearly
That's-
one of a pair.
That's
but
so
there you
good.
go. And then
yeah,
as
it was worth going back for.
I never said it was. I just
That is
kind of
the
thought you
ears
should
are
take the rest of us with you.
as you're then sort of proceeding through the jungle with, I assume, Moonlight Sparkle's kind of, it's dense for Moonlight Sparkle, so he might have to soar, or is it he or she?
I think we decided she.
She? So she kind of has to soar above in circles?
I'm riding her.
Okay.
Just so I can like be a scout.
So maybe then it's Thaddeus who spots a tree that has these plump white fruits hanging from it that everyone is just about to walk under.
Okay. I'll call it on and says, looks like we might be able to get some fruit here. You see that tree?
What do we need fruit for?
In case anyone's hungry.
We have good berries.
Ethan, does the Thunderstep spell, does it do damage to every creature, or is it choice dependent?
It's everything that is in a 5 foot.
10. Oh, you
Or
did
is
5
it
feet.
10 foot?
This
What
says
is
10
it?
feet,
10 feet.
and it's
then.
3d10 thunder damage.
Yep.
Okay.
So everything around you in the space you leave takes damage.
Even allies.
Mhm.
And but it says you can take someone with you. Is that still part of it as well?
Yeah, so if you take
Okay.
someone with you, they wouldn't take the damage.
Got it. Okay. Cool. That's really cool. Wow, that's really cool. All right.
I was looking for a good lightning or thunder-based spell for this dagger, and I was like, I don't just want to do lightning bolts.
Yeah. This
That's
is
kind
really
of
good.
boring.
That one's really neat.
So
Yeah.
I found that spell and thought it was really cool.
That's really cool.
Okay, so we have 2 more shrines to go to.
Right.
Then we're gonna save the crew of the Drowning Kiss,
Right. And then we're off to
Fairendal,
either Redwater or Ravenmoor.
Redwater.
and then
Right.
go to Eli.
We have to go to
Put
Redwater.
hearts around Eli. Yeah. He's it.
And so then as the rest of you walk around these fruits that Thaddeus has called down to you, you can hear this powerful, or you can feel this, smell this powerful, sweet scent wafting down from the fruits. towards
Am I
you.
still repulsed by Mara?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yeah, so you kind of have to walk like 15
I
feet away
am.
from Mara.
It didn't go away after 10 minutes. Uh-oh. Alright.
This effect seems to be lingering longer than the last one.
Maybe
I'm gonna
someone
walk
needs to
like that.
return something.
Well, Thaddeus is up on...
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I can't walk
Yeah.
by Thaddeus. I'm walking on the other side of Hunter from Mara.
Okay.
I'm like,
Do I
Look at-
stink or something? What's up?
I don't know. I just can't look at you right now.
do you guys get no
Wow.
women? Hunter keeps walking.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's
Rude.
wrong with me.
Huh?
Rude.
I like to think it's Gloriana who said that.
Yeah, it is. How rude.
What happened
Sorry.
to your brain mouse?
If-
Did you
if-
tell us about it?
I didn't. It's in my knapsack, I'm sure.
When you woke up, he was hungry again. But I assume you fed Pinky. So
You
Wait, I
didn't
thought-
tell us
wait.
about Pinky.
Not
Isn't
yet.
Gloriana with Thaddeus still? Or
Yes.
did,
that's what I was about to say. Is that
Oh,
so
yeah.
if Thaddeus will let her, Gloriana will ride with you.
Yeah, I would.
oh, then she wouldn't say that.
Let
I heard that. Okay.
I hope Pinky has a good sense of direction.
Ah, yeah. Does Pinky require food now?
No.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm like cleaning the crystal ball after Mari gave it to me because I'm so disgusted.
Yeah. Prestidigitation.
we're trying to get the Mara.
You
off.
should like
Trying to get the Mara off,
Do
just
you like-
get it all
do you
off.
like prestidigitation her? You're like,
Yeah, maybe I would. See if it helps.
why is this not working? That's so funny.
You're nice and squeaky clean now.
I'm normally clean. I'm extra sparkly clean.
Extra
now.
sparkly.
Moonlight
clean.
Like
sparkly clean.
moonlight sparkly clean.
That's the name like
All right, so
dishwasher
this fruit
detergent.
smells really
Moonlight
gross.
Sparkle.
It's
Sickly
like
sweet.
it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sickeningly
Are we at the?
sweet,
Sorry, I
but
missed it. Are we at the shrine?
not
No.
yet.
No.
It's
You
on the
just
way.
found fruit.
Yeah.
There's
What are we
big,
doing?
plump
Stopped
white
under a
fruits.
tree. Let's
Well,
go.
we're not stopped. I was just pointing it out to you. It's coming up ahead. If we-
Right.
If
Okay.
we want to stop, we can.
Nope. Let's go. Time's a wasting, people.
I'm with you for once.
Encounter on the table ignored.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the smell thing?
Yeah.
I can't smell anything.
Yeah,
At least,
That's why I said these three can.
I didn't hear that part. So I wouldn't know about the encounter.
Harmony's like beeline and man for that shrine. It's like,
Walking just a little bit faster than Mara.
yep. Just not purposely not looking behind her.
Yep.
Using her like dress to like polish the crystal ball.
Okay.
She walks like
Thaddeus, I think you're probably actually just roll a quick perception check
Okay.
from atop of Moonlight Sparkle, and I'll roll one for Gloriana as well.
9.
Yeah, Gloriana also rolled a 9, I think, unless she has a bonus to perception. I'm not sure that she does. Oh, actually, she does. Gloriana rolled a 14. So Gloriana kind of taps you on the shoulder and like points in a direction just ahead of the rest of you, and the rest of you, as Thaddeus is getting this pointed out to him by Gloriana, hear the sounds of fighting from up ahead. There's just these loud banging and clanging sounds, and also like the hooting of like apes or something like that. Some large creature. And then Thaddeus, as Gloriana draws your attention downward, you can see that there are 3 of those orange-furred ape-like demons, and they're battling with this other massive creature. It's like twice the size of them, but it has these like chitinous exoskeleton, and it has these crab-like pincers to it as well. But the creature with the pincers manages to like clamp the pincer around one of the ape-like creatures and then crush its neck, and you can see that it just sort of like its eyes, like the demon fire flares out of them. But then the other 2 monkey-like creatures just punch a couple punches, like 3 or 4 each, into this other creature and break through its exoskeleton, and you can see black Icarus liquid pour out of it. And then this is right when the rest of you stumble into the clearing, and the chitinous creature sort of falls with like black Icarus liquid flowing from it, and then the 2 ape-like creatures turn their eyes to the rest of you.
Are they like are we at the ravine or the sinkhole where it is?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, this is just like still in the jungle.
Okay, still. All right.
So these 2 ape-like creatures turn their eyes on the rest of you and roll initiative.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a disadvantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you still have
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with it now?
Return it anytime.
I can't just. Okay, I'm gonna turn around and walk back
You
across
can't
the
just
island.
teleport? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah, I can teleport there. I can't teleport back.
Teleport everyone there. Like, I need an errand to run.
Also, at what point are you planning on telling everyone, hey, we have to go back to that temple for
Nope. Nope.
I already tried to
She was
figure
right
it out.
by it and chose not to, so I don't think she's gonna change her mind.
We better get to a town soon and sell that thing, because there's no way you're
Give it to somebody else.
Good to see you.
None of y'all
We're
know
fine.
what's going on,
No,
right?
this is all meta talk.
Right?
Oh, well, I did catch you on the way back,
What
but I
was-
don't know what you were doing.
You saw me like talking to the statue for a while.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's going on? You're like, nothing. Let me
What would
in.
happen if you gave it to
And then
Ciel?
So I'm suspicious. Hunter
Yeah,
is
sounds like
suspicious.
a
You know it's bad, though.
Yeah, I rolled 2 dice.
Yeah, I know
You would-
exactly what is
You
wrong.
would do that, so.
I know exactly what is wrong, but I decided not to give them back. I was like, maybe if I have a chat with this tiger, it'll be okay, and it obviously isn't. So I was giving it a while.
Gloriana and
I
the
have a
monkeys rolled the same initiative, believe it or not,
Gloriana and the monkeys.
which is a great name.
What did Moonlight Sparkle roll?
Moonlight Sparkle goes
does-
on Thaddeus' initiative.
Okay, are we just doing that?
Yeah, you basically
Yeah.
can move it on your turn. So,
Oh, that's cool.
Mara,
And a-
you are
and you're- and
unsurprisingly
pinky.
up first as these 2. Let me get them out for reference. I'm not going to set up a map. But,
That's fine. Do you want me to move us somewhere?
no, I'm just going to pull out the monkeys so you can see them.
So I have the 2-weapon fighting, so I could technically have my dagger and my sword of wounding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
you
the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to pick which one is in your main hand and which is in your off hand, because you won't get the bonus.
Yeah. So it's
They're really close to us. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm not setting up an actual map. So, Mara, you're up first. These 2 orange-furred demonic monkeys are maybe like 30 feet in front of you.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'm gonna do sneak attack. Can you?
You'd have to run up to them first.
This is true.
Okay.
You could delay your action until someone gives you advantage or gets close to them.
Okay, well then maybe
But
I
no,
should...
if she runs up and does melee, then
Yeah,
she
well,
gets
that's
it, right?
another option.
Well, it depends on how close they are to each other.
No, it's
there's-
from her swashbuckler thing. She gets sneak attack if she's in melee with someone
yeah.
and
Do the words of Hunter ring loud of not charging in headstrong and dying? Or do you
All right,
wait?
so I guess I'll take out my short bow then, since they're
Well, you
too
can still,
far away.
Ethan said you could throw the dagger.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can throw the dagger and then teleport
And then-
it back as a bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah, you can return it.
You wouldn't get sneak attack that way, though.
Unless someone has
So,
gone next
like,
You
hold
could
the
also
action.
hold
Yeah,
your action.
hold the action to throw it until you get advantage or sneak attack.
Until someone else is
Yeah.
up there.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
So,
So Mara's
you
holding her
could-
turn.
You could.
so should I don't think
But
I'm gonna
then
get closer
If
to...
she holds her action, she can't bonus action have it teleport back to her, though, right?
No, but she could on the next turn.
Okay. So you could use your bonus action now to hide.
If you hide, you could get advantage, which would
Yeah.
allow you to sneak attack.
Yeah.
That's another option.
I was gonna say, do I want to get closer to one of my party members, but... Okay.
That's not actually where we are.
I know, but okay,
Well, you're
I'll hide.
within. Well, you're not. You're far away from Harmony because she doesn't like you right now, but you're close to me. So
Okay, so let's do that. I'll hold my action and then I'll find a place to hide so that I can do the sneak attack.
Well, if you hide and you're successful, you can sneak attack on your turn. Is what I'm saying. Because
Okay.
they won't
so
be able to see.
roll a check to hide. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Okay, yeah, that's been better. Where's yours?
Oh, wow, that's really good.
You're looking
So-
to beat a. Where's their perception?
20.
15.
Yeah,
So I think it'd just be this one, right?
stealth. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it would be a 23.
Yeah, you easily duck behind a tree and get well out of sight, and then sort of peek around, and then you can aim to throw the dagger if you want.
Okay.
And if you throw the dagger now, you're
Two.
hidden, so you get advantage.
So you can roll 2 die or you can roll the same one twice. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, that's amazing.
A 1 and a 4.
Ah!
Really good.
Wait, but I can't because that's my reliable talent.
No, that's only for
No,
skills.
that
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. That would be insane if it worked
Oh
on
my
attacks.
gosh.
Oh my gosh. Everyone would be like Rogue. I would
But
just
you get a
switch to Rogue
plus
right now.
9,
Yeah, so
so
13.
13.
13 is unfortunately not quite enough.
Oh,
So
no.
you're not used to the weight of the dagger. You don't throw daggers very often, so you throw it out, and like you can see sparks of lightning around the blade as it whirls through the air, but it just narrowly grazes over the shoulder of one of them, cutting some of the orange fur, and then.
You just got it and you're already getting rid of it?
That was a really unfortunate roll.
That was
Yeah.
really unfortunate.
Thaddeus.
Alright,
dang.
I'm gonna tell Moonlight Sparkle to take me down and then stay aloft and keep L'Oreal safe.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to about 30 feet overhead, and then Daddy's is gonna jump off and attack the Garistro. Not her,
These monkey
Monkey.
creatures.
One for things.
Like Link style with the sword first.
Don't thrust.
Don't thrust!
Okay, so you're going to take 12 points of damage, but if you're down thrusting onto it, I'll say they take 6 extra from
Okay.
their attack.
Cool.
So half of that 12.
Right, and then I'm gonna make 2 attacks. That's what we got. My bonus action was just to unshoot the blade.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Wow.
2 23s.
Yeah, those will both hit, for sure. No
Okay.
problem.
Let's see.
That was so unfortunate.
Do I need to separate out Radiant Cold?
You do.
Okay. So the cold is gonna be
It'll be 20 next time.
22,
Just get one. One is
22
plenty.
cold
22, okay.
and 9 radiant.
In this instance, you can tell that like the cold doesn't seem to have as much of an effect on it. It's like normally the blade would like crystal over the bodies with cold energy, but this it doesn't seem to be like taking to its body is like radiating heat now that you get close. It's like burning demonic heat, and so it doesn't seem to take quite as much. So was that both attacks?
That's what attacks.
Then it is Gloriana's turn.
And don't forget the 6 from the fall.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. So then Thaddeus is sort of on the ground, next to this monkey, which now is just like.
I mostly did that just so that I would be really impressed.
She was really impressed. You can tell.
So funny.
And then she's
I
sort
was
of
impressed.
looking around the battlefield, seeing who's like starting to move. She shouts down to Hunter and says, "Hunter, what would she say? Go for the one that Thaddeus just hit. It's weakened. Now's the time." And you can take a d6 of Bardic Inspiration dice, which you can use on attack rolls, saving throws, or skill checks.
Okay.
And then, does she have any spells she can cast? That's her bonus action.
Trying so hard. Yeah.
She shouts down to the monkeys and says to the one that Thaddeus just attacked, and she says, "Not so tough now, are you, you stupid monkeys?" And she uses vicious mockery.
Nice.
Yes!
Uh,
I love vicious mockery. It's the
So it fails its save, and it's going to take.
best. She's the best. She's so great.
And, oh, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll, so that's very good.
Which is good.
That's
Wow.
helpful.
Awesome. I need to
And
keep her.
it is then their turn, so that'll come in handy. The one that is next to Thaddeus is going to use 2 reckless attacks against Thaddeus.
Okay.
So one of those is just a normal attack, and then one of them is at advantage.
Yep. I'll probably want to use my shield for this.
The normal one is only 18 to hit,
Oh, that misses.
and then at advantage, the same exact roll. So just 2 fist attacks that just can't, or actually 1 fist attack and then 1 bite attack. It tries to actually bite onto you, but you catch its mouth in your shield.
I think I must do so.
The next one can't see Mara, so it's going to run towards Hunter, who I assume is ahead of Harmony.
I can be.
And it's going to make 2 attacks against you, both reckless. So an 18.
Miss.
Do you have your shield out yet?
I don't need a 19 AC.
Oh, dang, that's right.
Yep.
And are you kidding me? A 10.
So I just said that I'm like, Matrix dodge.
One day I'll hit you. It's your turn, Hunter.
Okay. So, yeah.
I thought for sure with these guys, with reckless attack, I could get you.
Nope.
But no.
Not this time. So,
It's like Papa, I knew. I know.
I guess I will pull my sword out, and then I will make some attacks on it. So I got that is a 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
I'm gonna make this a trip attack. So basically make a 19 DC strength saving throw, which he's probably good at.
He is pretty good. Well, actually, no, he's not.
Okay, I hope he's not good at it.
He fails.
Okay, that's fine.
So he just as he's running towards you, you dodge under his fist, you duck away from the bite, and then just take his legs up from
Swipe his
under
blade
him.
with the sword, yeah. And he takes 17 magic slashing damage.
Okay.
And then I'll make a couple more sword attacks at advantage against
Because
him.
he's prone.
Oh yeah.
This is the guy on me, right?
No, this is the other guy.
The other guy. So I got a 26 on the first one,
Hits. Yep.
and like a 30 something on the next one. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to use whatever my thing is that's out here. I'm really organized. Oh, it's right in front of me. I was like, I don't know where it is. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do damage. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I need to do anything special. Oh, good rolls. That is a total of 17 more magic slashing.
Okay.
And then I will run my movement away and use my bonus to unsheath my sword and shield.
He's just going to take a...
Can he attack while prone?
He can, but it's a 10.
Oh, sure.
He'll
Okay.
take a bite attack at you at disadvantage. Of course, there's a 19 on one of the dice, but it's only a 13 total, so with the disadvantage.
So
no.
just laugh at him.
He tries to chomp at your leg, but you're
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah, I snickered.
Harmony.
Cool. Alright, well, you guys seem like you have this kind of under control. Somewhat.
So far.
Is there a giant rock nearby? Or
There are
something.
large trees.
could I disroot? Disroot?
Uproot.
Uproot one?
Uproot.
Oh,
Thank
with telekinesis?
Yeah. Would I be able to uproot one with telekinesis?
Yeah, I mean, you can lift like 1,000 pounds.
Yes.
So there's definitely a tree within that range that you can try and uproot.
Sweet. I'm going to use telekinesis to uproot a tree and swing it like a baseball bat at the one that looks the most damaged.
One on the ground.
Make
Yeah, I would go for the one on the ground.
a spell attack
Okay.
at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you go for the one on the ground, you don't get this damage.
That's true. So just
So
a
just straight roll.
straight roll
I'm
on
gonna-
the one on the ground. Say this is a huge weapon. What does a club do?
Nice. I don't know what would I add to that? A spell attack?
Yeah,
you
your
said?
spell attack.
Yeah.
bonus.
Okay, so yeah, I'll add 29.
29. Yep. Okay, that's gonna hit.
I've
This is a
been
cool-
meaning to
this
do
is a
this.
Cool thing.
been meaning to do this. There just hasn't been any inanimate objects I could control nearby.
Let's see. A great club would do how much damage? Come on, D&D Beyond, catch up. It would do 1d8 bludgeoning, and this is a huge version of that, so it's 3d8.
3D bludgeoning?
Yep.
Alright. I can dig it. That's not bad. So that's 16?
Yeah,
16.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, and this is the
Bludgeoning.
prone one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and he like, you hear like this exhale of air as this monkey just slams down on his chest,
Okay.
I clap and go, I didn't think that would work!
like accidentally sending the tree flying off into the forest,
Yeah.
Oh god!
smacking a bird out
I'm
of the
still
sky.
learning how to use this thing, you guys! Sorry,
Mara,
I'm
That's probably
still
narrowly
learning.
dodged out of the way.
Yeah.
Mara, you're up.
Okay.
You got plenty of good sneaking.
Your
back targets
dagger is
now.
currently behind the monkeys.
You can bonus attack, teleport it back to you, right?
Yep, you can bonus action teleport
Okay.
back.
But if you
Bonus
if you melee attack it, you'll have advantage because he's prone still.
Yeah.
Knock him down for you.
So, so I can still do my sneak attack now.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna use actually the sword of
Okay,
wounding.
so you're gonna leave the dagger there for a second,
For a
pull out
second,
the
yeah.
sword. And are you gonna go for the guy who's on his back?
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll have advantage, so you get sneak attack. Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
No. Hit first.
I know, but I'm just seeing how many I need. 1d8. So this is going to be 76 for the regular, and 1d8 for you. That's not it. I can't tell
That's
them apart
the
very well. Okay.
pyramid one. Yep.
You get both. You get both.
Oh. Woo, good. So, 28.
That'll do it. So now roll a truck ton of damage.
One tree trunk's worth of damage.
More than a
that.
tree trunk. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And he gets a wound.
20, 30.
30
Nice.
magic piercing.
And as you find the weak point and just stab the rapier of wounding straight into him, you can see that black ichor pours from the wound, and the fiery light in his eyes fades. And
Shout out the Lots style.
Yep. he sort of begins to melt into
Hopefully
this
those
black ichor.
tendrils don't
Yeah.
get at you.
You kill them?
Yep,
Yeah.
he's dead.
Nice. Good job.
Good job.
30 damage, dang. Thaddeus.
All right. So that's not the one that's on me.
No, the one that's
Yeah.
on you is still menacing you, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a couple swings at it.
okay.
Okay. Ooh, a crit!
Ooh.
Oh boy.
You know what that means?
He's dead.
Divine smite.
Nice smite.
You might die.
Prepare to narrate this step.
Yeah.
That's
For real. Let's see. How many d8s do I roll? That's right. Crit. It is. Okay. 12d8 radiant.
Yeah, do roll it just to be safe.
Come on, just give me this.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what is
That's
it?
not
Okay,
hard.
you roll.
Should say one.
Yes. As many as you need.
So. $27 cold.
Okay. So he's gonna...
Kersplats. Alright.
Just gonna like laugh like grandma's for you.
The cute popper.
49 radiant.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Okay, yeah, how does he die? Interestingly enough, oh no, never mind, actually.
You know what? Because I jumped on this guy, and I never moved after that, I feel like I'm still on him. So I think I'm just gonna do the Shadow of the Colossus.
Right into his head.
Right in the
Yeah.
weak spot, yeah, the,
Yeah.
the mark shines for that.
Yeah, it does. Its on him provides a
Mhm.
mark, and that is just takes it. And that's how the Divine Smite happens.
And
Like
black
big
ichors
grip of hair.
flats
Yeah.
out.
Right when
and
the
then
strength meter goes full,
Yeah.
stab through.
he falls to his knees, and then to his ground, or to the ground, prone, and then you just sort of like roll off of him and land. And
And then get possessed by the ichor. What?
The tentacle things.
Wait, what?
and
And it tries
then,
really, really hard not to look up at Gloria.
but you hear her from above say, "Holy shit!" And we can yeah.
Alright.
There's just these two orange monkey-like bodies on the ground that are slowly dissolving into this black ichor that seems to be their lifeblood.
I'm like slowly lowering the tree back down to the ground, like extra careful.
Oh, I didn't actually roll the damage on my other attack. No.
Still killed it.
It doesn't matter. Well, that takes care of that. Onward!
Okay.
I'm like, hey, don't forget your dagger.
I won't. Believe me.
Well, even if she did forget it, she could just teleport it back.
Yeah.
She could do that just to be cool, like
Put it-
walking
yeah.
away from the crime scene and just.
If we put it in the bag of holding, would she still do it?
Well, it needs to be on the same plane of existence.
Oh, so
That's in the
no.
wording of the spell.
So no.
Not spell, the weapon.
Hmm.
A few more hours of travel, and you come to the area of the map that seems like it should mark the location of this shrine. And you, Thaddeus, from above in the air, you're the first to spot this caved-in sinkhole in the ground, which is maybe 150 feet across. And it looks as if the jungle just caved away here into maybe some cave that was underneath, and then filled with water.
I'm pretty sure we've reached it.
Well, this is kind of a pickle because I've only got 2 of these potions.
Well, I've got my cloak,
I don't need
so
it.
I don't
Well,
need
I knew it was enough for us that needed it,
Oh,
Okay.
the Gloriana.
but Gloriana.
Well,
Can
I
you
can
teleport that far into it? Maybe once we've verified
Why
this.
do you guys keep wanting to make me waste my strongest spell
Waste
slot?
them.
I don't. Yeah.
Or not teleport.
There's-
I'm saying dimension door
Oh, dimension door down
Yeah.
there?
with
look,
Gloriana.
I'm well accustomed to keeping
I could,
things
but-
together on my own. I can just hold down the fort up here if you.
I need to know if there's air down there, though.
Yeah, we can go check.
We don't need to attune to these earrings, do we?
No.
The message ones. No.
Then I'm gonna take off mine because it's just clip on, and I'll give it to Gloriana and say, if anything happens, try and contact us with this.
Righto. Okay.
Will, is it...
I don't know. I don't know what range on that stuff is.
I'm just wondering, like, is it... Woof. Is it... Yeah. Exactly. 150 feet is the...
Yeah,
range
it's probably going to be within range unless the shrine is way down under the water. And in
Which it
fact,
wasn't
looking out into the pool of water that's here, you can see that
Well,
Oh yeah, the sinkhole itself is only 50 feet across.
that's true. I do have a disguise kit, so I can take Gloriana over into the bushes and like paint her face to look like camo, and just sit her in the bush and say, "Don't move from this spot."
Or she can just fly around on Moonlight Sparkle.
That's true. Moonlight Sparkle can't come with us. So.
But
may
Moonlight
as well.
Sparkle would be like a target. In the air.
I mean, they can stay on the ground and if they can flee the air if they need to, right?
That's true.
That's a good plan.
What you can see from here is sticking up out of the water. There seems to be the top of one of those archways, but this one is painted a bluish color, though the blue has faded somewhat. And then you can just see like the top of maybe a spire or something like that poking out of the water behind that archway.
This is all underwater.
Yeah, you can't really see anything under the water because the water is murky and
Oh,
dirty.
I see.
But
So this is
what you can see
protruding from.
poking up out of it is the top of this shrine, of this archway, and then some sort of like spire or something that might be on the top of the.
I mean, Mara and I can go take a look real quick.
Might as well
Yeah.
Okay.
scout it out.
You ready, Mara?
Let us know what's down there.
Ready.
Roll a perception check before you even dive in.
Sure. Okay. 13.
18.
18. Let me double check something. In my notes here. Well, I can't find it.
You looked real hard there.
I'll give it another look.
Must not have been very important. Do we have
There we
time
go.
for a
Found
short
it,
rest
found
while
it.
we're doing this or not? Or are we just going right after?
You could take a short rest here if you want.
You need a short rest?
My mastery's back.
Oh. I didn't use anything.
Well, yeah. It's good.
Just
I'd like to be fully equipped.
So, you said, what did you get on your perception, Hunter?
13.
13.
And
Okay, so
18.
both of you managed to spot what you initially take for logs floating in the water, but you realize that they're actually moving around in there, and you figure that there are crocodiles in the water.
I know what a crocodile is.
Mm-hmm.
They don't hold their breath very well.
You're intimately familiar with what a crocodile is.
I'm
You know
I'm
they can hold their breath
I'm like,
for an hour.
these ones look much better than when I was a crocodile. Okay.
Okay, so this is while we're in the. Or
Are they-
still
Before you
standing
even dive
looking?
Are they
Okay.
really close to us? Like they'll like snap
They
at
seem
us?
to-
So swimming in there is probably kind of dangerous.
They seem to be milling about the pit full of water. And I think before we get too into this is a good place to stop
Yeah.
because it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you're standing on the lip of this sunken-in shrine, which seems to be surrounded by crocodiles on all sides, and that's where we'll pick up next week.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So
Da-da-da.
thanks to anyone who tuned in. It's actually a very eventful episode.
Yeah.
Sure
I think
was.
so.
We'll be back next week as we tackle the eastern shrine on this island and whatever else might come after that.
Taking my dice.
So we'll see you all then. If you missed part of this episode, the VOD will be up on Twitch immediately afterwards. The video will be on YouTube on Wednesday. And we hope to see you again. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.